All right, folks, Arm Defender here. So we're going to talk about the Sig P320 some more and why it's a liability. First off, who the hell am I? There's a lot of you that don't know me from my old version of this channel. I've been here on YouTube since 2008, so I'm one of the original gun guys. My channel is it's not even at 80,000 views or 80,000 subscribers, so it's pretty small compared to some of the big wigs out there, but that's okay. But I used to be under Miller USAF, so that was during my time when I was still in the military. So if you know me from those days, then you know who I am. But people that don't know, I was in the military under Military USAF. I got out and then I changed my name to Arm Defender because it seemed to be a little bit more fitting. Then I kind of faded into the background a little bit. I did YouTube as a secondary, still did reviews and stuff like that, but didn't really worry too much about trying to get tons of views. And it shows my channel is only, 79,000 and change for subscribers. So it's not that big. But I'm changing that. I'm going to kind of reassert myself and get back into the game here. And the reason I'm doing that is because the state of YouTube has changed. And I've sat back and watched it, but I think I need to get in there and say some things and make some fun videos again. And we'll see how it goes. But that's my YouTube side. Other than YouTube, prior military, 15 years. And had some instructor experience in the military along with OPFOR experience, combat deployment to Iraq. I'm a GWAT veteran, and I got out of military, and I'm been law enforcement for 11 years and change. Defensive tactics instructor. I'm the lead defensive tactics instructor for my agency, which is a pretty big agency. And I kind of bring that experience to bear on my reviews as of late. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, who the heck I am. So, enough talking about me. Let's talk about the Sig P320 some more. So the P320 is basically a liability. It is what it is. I mean, we could try and sugarcoat things, and it's unfortunate. There's some YouTubers out there, some big YouTubers, trying to shill for Sig, but no, it is not a good gun, okay? The P320 is based off the old P250 design. If you guys know what the P250 is, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, the P250 is an old double action design. It's basically the P320, but a double action design. Sig had it for a while. It wasn't really successful. They turned it around, turned it into the P320 basically, and then the rest is history. It's not a good gun. I owned a 320 for a while. I tried to give it a chance, and the trigger has always been kind of mushy. I don't like the trigger. I don't like the feel of the gun. I'm just not a fan, okay? There are better guns out there, especially for the price. I'm seeing these things for $500-600. I'll tell you right now, the U.S. military is paying less than $200 per unit for these dang guns. So let it be known that you're getting screwed over. You're paying $600, sometimes over $600 for a gun that the U.S. military is paying less than $200 for. What does that tell you? That the gun costs less than that to make. It doesn't cost much to make. If you look at the actual design, that's a beautiful thing. When you look at these modular triggers, it's genius if you think about it from a manufacturing and marketing point. Once you design that modular trigger chassis system, the rest is polymer. You have the trigger chassis, you have, the polymer frame, which is going to be really easy to manufacture once you got the molds going, everything going. And then you have the slide, once you get everything going, the mills set up, all that stuff, it's going to be pretty easy to mass produce. It's kind of that there's a higher initial cost, but over time, as you mass produce, then you're gonna save. It's an extremely inexpensive gun. I know it's not the only inexpensive gun to make, but just let it be known, for a P320, you're paying a lot of money. You're getting fleeced. I think that should be a $400 gun at most. The fact that they're charging so much, it makes me laugh. They're ripping you off. And let it be known, I feel the same way about the Glocks. The Glock should not be a $500-600 gun. The Glock should be a $400 gun. A lot of the guns out there, I think they should be less, but it is what it is. So I digress. But the gun is cheaply made. We already know that there are some issues with some of the metal injected molded parts. There's some stuff coming from India, which I think is just kind of bullcrap. If the gun is marketed, or excuse me, the gun is contracted to the U.S. military, the stuff should be made in the USA. Nothing should be outsourced. Now, maybe the ones that are made for the U.S. military are all made in USA. I haven't confirmed that. But I do know that the P320 does have parts being sourced in from India, and some of the quality of those parts have been called into question. So That's another potential liability issue. All of the evidence as of late with the law enforcement issues with the P320, the civilian issues, U.S. Army has had some issues. U.S. Marine Corps is conducting an investigation right now on the P320. That right there just tells me it's a liability. I think the gun should be pulled from duty status until it has been deemed safe to be reinstated in duty status. And I think the only way to do that is to re-engineer the pistol a little bit. How should Sig fix it? So this is the problem, right? It's a liability issue. Well, here's my opinion on a solution. It's going to be a little bit painful for Sig. Sig is going to have to redesign the gun, maybe call it a new generation, be like, hey, this is the new Gen 2, Gen 3, whatever, Sig P320, M18, M17, whatever. It's going to have to be a little bit of a redesign because they're going to have to, I think, put a trigger safety on the trigger, and then they have to look at the geometry and how the internal striker parts work, because I think that's some of the issue that's going on with the P320. They got to change some of that stuff. So there's going to be some redesign. And if they do that, I think that's going to open them up to some lawsuits. So there's going to be a little bit of pain on Sig's part, but I think they have to go through it if they hope to gain a little bit of integrity back. It's a little bit painful now, but I think if they did that, it would turn the P320 into an actually good handgun, and it would restore some of their tarnished reputation right now. It'll take some time though, and a little bit of pain. I think it's unfortunate that there are YouTubers out there that are popular and they're shilling for Sig, and it speaks a lot to how Sig is handling this. I see a lot of shadiness, a lack of integrity from Sig as a whole on this particular thing, you know, and they're basically making YouTubers sacrifice themselves, like Military Arms Channel. GBRS Group is another one. GBRS Group, they have some good videos, but their Sig video is laughable. I mean, yeah. When the lead guy there is crossing his hands and saying, unless you show me a video of it going off in a holster with your arms crossed, hands crossed, whatever, then I don't believe it. That's a crazy take on this issue, but whatever. Another one I think is Assault Dynamics. It's a training company out of California. That guy over there, he's really got butthurt about the Sig issue. He's a hardcore Sig guy. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's people getting too invested into a brand. If the gun has issues, then just realize it. It's okay if you own the gun. Just realize it for what it is. I mean, I like Glocks. If Glocks had issues, I wouldn't hesitate to call out Glocks. Same thing with the Springfield Echelon. People that have been following me recently know I'm an Echelon fan. I love the gun. But if it had issues, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, man. The gun has issues. These are not toys. These are firearms. It's serious stuff. So we have to hold the firearms makers accountable when it's reasonable to do so. So, have critical thinking, guys. Look at the issues at hand. Realize that no, it's not some conspiracy. No, it's not some, people trying to hold some sort of leftist agenda to go against the Second Amendment. The 2A community owes it to themselves to police and hold accountable the gun manufacturers out there to make sure they're staying safe. It is what it is. We have to stand together and do that. I believe that's a requirement. So, have some critical thinking about this stuff. What guns are better than the P320? Okay, I can name off a few. The Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 is better. The Glock, current generation Glocks are better. The Springfield Echelon is better. The Beretta APX is better. That's just 4 right off the top of my head. And there's other brands out there like FN, HK. There's other guns out there that are better than the P320. There are much better choices that still have good aftermarket support. No, you're not getting the whole, yeah, this is the current military gun. I get it. People want to buy the Sig because of that moniker, but that's okay. I would tell them, you know what, instead of investing in a current Sig, go on the used market and look at the legacy Sigs. Now, I love the legacy Sigs. I'm talking old school P220s, 226s, 228s, 229s, 225s, the old surplus P8 from the German Polizei. Great guns. Those things were tanks. I like those, and I'm kicking myself for getting rid of those. I used to have a bunch of them, and I got rid of them because I'm ADHD when it comes to firearms. It is what it is. But, you know, the old legacy SIGs are awesome. But anyway, I don't want to get too long-winded in this video. The P320 is a liability. The evidence is there. Confirmation bias is a bitch. So look at the evidence, realize for what it is. And you have to remember, these people that handle the P320 that were involved in these issues with these discharges, most of them are professionals. This isn't just, some dude on a range where you're like, I don't know what this guy's for. These are vetted military members, vetted law enforcement members that have had training, and they know how to handle a firearm and holster a firearm. Okay? These are professionals. And the fact that SIG's calling everybody else out, they're calling Safariland out, they're calling this and that. They've come up with this conspiracy theory about keys in a holster and this and that and the other thing. It's all misdirect. It's all just, gaslighting and all that stuff. So please, critical thinking. Don't hesitate to open your mind a little bit and look at the facts and look at the evidence. Be evidence-based with this stuff. With that said, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I encourage you guys, watch this video. Feel free to leave comments and realize that there are other guns better than the SIG. You don't have to get the SIG, okay? They're not the only game out on the market right now. In fact, I have a Durya Arms, a Turkish-made Durya Arms DY9. I just did a video on it yesterday, and I did a video on it earlier on. But after you watch this, check out that video. It's a Turkish-made, it's kind of a Glock clone, Glock 19 clone. I would trust that damn thing anytime over a Sig P320, and it's a $199 gun. I paid $199 for that thing. That says a lot. So check out that video. Good gun. I encourage you guys to look for the good gun deals out there. Don't be fleeced by Sig and spend $650 for a $75 gun when you can get a good Glock like a Ruger RXM for a lot less, and it's a lot better of a gun. So anyway, comment section below, light it up, good or bad, doesn't matter. Feel free to share this video, all that stuff, talk with your buddies, I don't care. There'll be a lot more videos like this to follow, along with more review videos and all that good stuff. So with that said, Armed Defender signing off. Till next time.